Hey, Andrew.
Hey Hendrik, how's it going?
Oh, good. Thank you. How are you?
Are you, I'm doing all right. Are you still traveling?
Yes, last week.
Last week, and then you'll be back at home in Germany for a while, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm in Germany to be fair. So I was last week in Bergen, and I be this week in Bergen. So I'm 3 hours away from home, and I would even have been possible to go over a weekend at home, but we decided. So my partner, she was here in Bergen, and we did a weekend in Bergen, which was nice too. Yeah, and on Thursday, so in 2 days, I will go back home and then um, stay home for a while, which is good.
Incredible. Love to hear it.
I like traveling, but that was really then from time to time you have this packed weeks, right? So I was
Yeah.
like 5 weeks where I was every week somewhere else. And yeah, I don't like that. I like, oh, if there's like 4 days a month going somewhere.
Yeah.
That is nice. Yeah.
I spent 1 year, I spent over half of the days of the year outside the US staying in Marriott's for
Good
work.
Lord.
And I got back and I woke up, I was doing so many trade shows, and I got back home and I woke up and I was like, this hotel's terrible. What? This bed is terrible. What kind of hotel? Oh no, this is my apartment. This is my bed. Oh no. I'm going to complain to the management. Oh wait, that's me.
Where's the room service? Where's the room service here?
Exactly.
Sorry, I don't have my camera. I haven't showered.
No,
No
it's
worries,
fine.
Jessica.
You guys, I don't want to scare you. I don't want to see that ugly side of me.
I will note that if you clicked through, you saw that this meeting is being automatically uploaded to YouTube.
Oh,
So
well,
this is a test.
now everybody's gonna know.
Well, when you click to get to the meeting, it says, I let me see if I can show you if this is
Yeah,
okay.
and then in Seattle, it's getting into the 80s,
I
and
know. So
I
this is
cannot.
what I saw when I clicked on the meeting link.
Okay,
You
please
know,
note this
please,
meeting is being recorded. Oh,
Oh, I
okay.
would have not noticed that.
Yeah, neither I.
I've seen this kind of screens from IF so often that I just search for the blue button.
well, this is new, and basically we are uh beta testing.
Yeah, it's the one that you tested for our quick 2 minutes
Yeah,
meeting.
that didn't happen for reasons, but it's just I hope it gets to work because I'm
Yeah.
tired of uploading videos to YouTube.
I mean, that's
Yeah, since
also
I joined, you've
great.
been
Then
working on
people, it's easier to comment afterwards and it's easier to find the things. Yeah, that's good. Hello, YouTube.
that. Now everybody's gonna know that I don't shower in the morning.
So I need to leave in 10 minutes, actually.
Yeah, no worries. I do wanted to bring something up. Something that has been bugging me for a few weeks now. What's gonna happen with Hyro HAC SDK JS? Michael's
Yeah,
Michael's project.
I don't know if Roger or Andrew, I mean, Roger is not here. If Andrew has new information about that, I do not have any new information about what are the next steps here.
Yeah,
Uh,
so I guess from my perspective, it's not necessarily on Hashgraph to move it into the hiero-ledger org. I think there are other people who can who are capable of moving it into the hiero-ledger org. Um, I'm uncertain about the security on that repository and if it meets all of the expectations of the hiero-ledger organization, because I do know that we have pretty restrictive security requirements in order to move into that organization. Um, so that's another piece that I'm just generally uncertain about. Roger may have more information. Let me ping him and see if he's coming to this
Yeah,
meeting or not.
he says he's coming later. He needed
Okay.
to pick or drop his daughter. I don't remember what he said, but um, uh, do you look at, will he know if Nathan has reviewed this?
I doubt Nathan has reviewed this. We've been underwater with some other stuff going on, unfortunately.
Yeah. And the last thing I know is that Richard, even though it was approved in the TSC a few TSCs ago, how do you call it? Richard was gonna review it.
Yeah. So to my knowledge, that has not happened because we've been busy with other releases. So I will follow up with Roger and we'll all get on the same page about that and figure out what we want to do with Keith's repo there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The other one that we have is the one where I had the PR somewhere here. Let me find it. It's the one that Rai created as a draft a while ago, the hiero-ledger JS. So I think
JS, I mean, we got mails about that today, right? So that is where you are in a mail thread and we
yeah.
got some mails today. So here the idea is we will bring that over. We have now a mail thread because it started on the Hashgraph Slack. I said, this is not working, let's move it somewhere else. People don't want to do Discord. Now we have a mail thread for that one. But at least everyone is in it. So Andrew, for you, my assumption here is since that is a DIT repository coming from DSR, it's Jessica and yet not you and Roger to bring it over. That was the decision I now just made. I hope that is okay for you to, say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
my only concern is let's make sure that the security on the actions is set up correctly.
Yeah.
Especially when we're bringing it over into that hiero-ledger org.
Yeah. So what I can say is we now have with the main maintainer and main committer of the repository, Alexander. He's now in the mail chat too, and yeah, I think it's the next step is to schedule a meeting and then bring that repository over to Hiero.
I noticed that Andrew and Roger are not in that mailing thread. Do you guys want to be added to that?
Oh, sure. It's not going to hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started it with the minimum people to not bother you with, all the non-hashgraph topics. So don't feel yourself excluded. That was more about let's test if it works, a community project without you being involved. But yeah, totally fine to add you to that.
Okay. Just added you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, the other project that we have is actually coming from me, which is the Hiero Enterprise. And with that, it's that I have two persons who would like to do some work on it and become committers. And I said, yeah, let's do it now. And once you did some pull requests, we can bring it over. Then we don't need to do a voting to add a new committer and things like that. But then they can be initial committers. That's why I postponed the transfer of that repository for a little bit. Hope to have it late this month or beginning of next month as the next one that got transferred. And I have next week I have a meeting for a new project which is currently named the Hedera CLI. It's a command line interface that you can use to interact with an Hedera network. I will have a meeting with the main developer next week. First of all, to figure out, can it easily be changed to be, not Hedera specific, but be used for any Hiero network, and then talk with them about the possibility of moving that to Hiero. And if all that works out well, maybe at the end of this month or early next month, we will have another project that we can take to Hiero. Yep.
That's great news. We need to make sure that we go through them and make sure that the best practices are put in place. I asked a question to Tracy about what would have happened. Like, is it possible that a graduated project could potentially lose graduation because of dropping these kind of checks? I don't think there is a process to review if they should be and correct me if I'm wrong, right? But I don't believe there's a process where they check if a project still maintains their status. I will think that that comes in the annual report and the quarterly reports that becomes visible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can be.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, Tracy and I have developed a bunch of tools to give more visibility into the health of projects. So
Yes.
I know that she's interested in it.
Is that the one that was posted in the annual report that had like all the repos and like, okay, license, yes, this, yes.
No, I'll have to dig it up.
Okay. Yeah, and also we need to remember to add them to the scorecard, to the OpenSSF scorecard.
Oh, regarding the OpenSSF scorecard, do we still use this LF cron job with this 1 million lines CSV file, or do we have
Yeah.
our own GitHub Actions for that now?
We don't have a GitHub Actions yet, but I've been meaning to talk to Nathan about it. I believe that it would be a good idea to add them. I think last time, I believe I sent Andrew an example of how the workflow looks like. So we can leverage that in case we want to add a separate workflow, or I don't know if
Yeah, so the thing is the workflow gives you the opportunity. I mean, you have two ways to do it, right? The workflow gives you the opportunity to publish more frequently or check more frequently.
Mhm.
And it also, I don't know that it gives you finer control. You still have to, create the config file so that it does the thing, right? So unless you want the default, there's some configuration, and that configuration is usually you set it up in the action. So
Yeah, but currently we have no way to do configuration, right? So having the action is better in all ways. We can do it more often, we can define when to do it, and we can do more fine granular configuration, correct?
yeah, I think that's the case. And it really depends on what the project wants, right?
Mhm. Question, right? How does the chat messages gonna look like in YouTube, or they're just not gonna be available? Do you know?
I don't know what you mean.
So for example, I'm putting some information in the chat.
Oh, I think
Oh.
it's not available. I
It's
believe.
not available in YouTube, right?
I've never
I-
seen that Zoom and YouTube, even for live streaming, hasn't. I assume it's gone.
Okay. Well, I posted the list of repos that still need to improve their score. We have two that are almost there. I spoke to Sophie about the Python one. So, yeah, I think we need to tackle those as well.
I can read the URLs for YouTube. HTTP.
Please don't.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of them. And again, this is not gonna affect graduation. As you know, these scores are already public in the READMEs, no matter what the score is. But yeah, it will be nice to have them reviewed.
All right. So I had a topic that we unfortunately I don't think got to during the TSC about creating that kind of separate organization for being able to publish or being able to bring repositories in from the outside that weren't necessarily up to our security standards that we're expecting, and the naming convention of that. Is that something that needs to go through the TSC, or is that something that we can make a decision here on?
It needs to go through the TSC eventually, but for now we have a discussion that I know that there's a discussion somewhere, but I revived it with the last I posted it again in the chat, but it's basically in hiero-ledger in the discussions number 98, and that is basically the outcome of my last conversation with Diane and Michael and Keith, and Sophie was there. So most of their side of their preference is to try to have one organization, and I put the reasoning why. The main reasoning is when it comes to metrics, metrics are not going to be able to reflect the community representation and diversity, so that could affect the way our status gets preserved, right? And the opinion that Michael, Sophie, and Keith had is that we will have to work on those projects to bring it up to standards, and then to bring it up to the standards that hiero-ledger requests, and then migrate it into hiero-ledger. But I understand that this is going to cause a lot of conflict when it comes to the security perspective, so I put that. Go ahead, Hendrik.
It's not even that, right? So from my point of view, the big problem we have is we as a group, and I'm not talking about us five here, I'm talking about the hiero community, can currently not say first of all, do we want to have a split at all? And if we want to have a split, is it because we have more like an incubation labs org with the goal of get all the projects in it to a state that they are in the core org, let's call it like that, or is it that we say we have a core org that contains the main server components, the main and the plain SDKs, and everything else is in the echo? And that is a hard cut, and we do not even have the idea or plan to move things around between those two. So we have totally different opinions how it should be look like in future. And I think with that, we here cannot do a decision because we would totally leave some of the different views out. And with that, I think at the end, I assume the TSC needs to vote on it because it will be very hard to find a common decision. And on the other hand, starting with a GitHub discussion is a good thing to collect all the information.
So I don't quite see it that way.
Okay.
It's not so binary. If I bring code in to this, let's just say into the eco org, I may have a goal that this just develops as a sidecar alongside of everything forever. And that is orthogonal from whether or not it becomes a part of the main org. Like if I'm bringing in the code, I've got a couple, 10K loc of code, and I've got a thing building, and I bring it into the eco, and I move on. And then someone in the main project says, hey, there's a lot of good ideas in there. We want to incorporate that code. We want to move that code. There's no reason, I don't believe that there is a reason, like a priori, you need to decide what the goal of is this code. For Hyperledger and LFDT, when we have the labs project, it's the whole idea of the labs project was to give people a low bar to try stuff out. And if it didn't work, it didn't work, or if they couldn't get critical mass, they couldn't get critical mass. The goal wasn't that everything that went into labs became a project or became something. So it's a little bit different in that split. So
I agree on that, right? But I think we not talk about that. So if a project comes and say, oh, I think I would like to try something. I would like to try if I can connect Hiero with, I don't know, any other network, right? And I want to create a prototype. Perfect. Do it in LFDT Labs. But the projects we are currently talking about here for the other repo like the Hiero Eco repo are not prototypes or something like that. They are projects like the DIT projects and others who say, we are projects, we have like releases and we want to be used. And we see maybe ourselves as we are stable. So, and if you come from that position, the question is, why should I be excluded from the main org, right? And there are two things you can say. Either, oh, you can come, but then you need to fulfill all those security things, or you say, because this org is only made for the main components with a super high risk of security, and everything around that is the ecosystem. For that, we have another org. So this is totally different points on how you look at the repos from my point of view, and we need to have a common sense how we look at it, because I think it would be bad if somebody tells, yeah, that is, a technical person says, I don't want these projects in the core, that's why they are there, because they do not have the security, and Anders says, yeah, it's totally fine to stay there because that is the ecosystem where everything outside of the core is. So different points of view, and I think we need to make that is right, or have a common sense at least on that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, it does. And I wanted to say that in the TSC meeting, we forgot to promote the task force meeting that we have. If you look at that issue, there's some mention of recurring sessions that we are trying to get together. Right now is set up for Thursdays after the community call weekly. So Hendrik and I, we were talking in the morning and making a point of trying to get this done as soon as we can.
Yeah.
But we need to promote it. If you have a way to reach out to the main parties here, Hendrik, internally, I will appreciate if you can remind them of this meeting. Right now, there's nobody registered, so nobody's gonna get the invitation, but I would like it to remain open and to have all the important parties here.
First thing I would do now is sending it to the Hiero channel we have in the Hashgraph Slack. Maybe Jessica, you can send it to the Discord for Hiero.
The announcements or where? No, right? The general.
Yeah. Announcement or general. I don't care. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I can do that. And Roger, before you joined, we were talking about the Hiero HCS SDK.js. Do you know anything, any news on that? Any discussions that you might have internally?
From Hashgraph Online? No, I haven't heard anything additional from that one. Hendrik, I don't know if you followed up with Richard at all.
Nope. I had exactly the same answer as you had. I have no infos on that one. The last information I had was the discussion with the name. But after that, I was like traveling now for some weeks, and I have not seen at a Discord channel or something, any or Slack channel, any news on that. So I would just say let's wait, because I have I mean, not even from Michael Cantor who asked, hey, can we move it now? So let's
Yeah,
just
I haven't heard from him either.
okay. Oh, and Roger, for you the information, you're on YouTube.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That is a
So I-
prototype that will be directly published to YouTube here.
Oh, very nice.
And I need to leave now. See you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Henrik.
Bye.
Okay, what else? Do you have any topics, any other topics or anything else that you guys want to discuss?
No, not really. I know Andrew and I are both kind of swamped with some other things that are happening internally, so I kind of want to get back to those.
Okay, sounds good. Let me know if you guys need my help for anything, okay?
All right,
Alright.
will do.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you so
everyone.
much. Bye.
Bye.